Hello everyone, this is Kathy with Catico Crafts. I'm back again with another video. Welcome back. This time I'm making 3 holiday cards using Gina K. This is an old stamp set that I had called A Very Merry Christmas, designed by Emily Logans. I'm stamping that with my Misty using, again, the waffle flower grip mat to hold my cardstock in place. I am embossing that with the Brutus Monroe Gilded. I hope I got that name right, but if anything, I'll log it down in the description below. So I took 3 of those stamp sets. They look like ornaments, or they represent ornaments, and I stamped them into my cardstock. I believe this cardstock, it's a random find from Michael's. I'm not even sure where it is, just from my stash. But I'm embossing that, I'm heat embossing that, melting them, using my Wagner, I think it's a Wagner heat gun. I'm running them through my die cut machine, my Spellbinders die cut machine. In my mind, I'm thinking I want to make some cards that look like little ornaments hanging out. So the first one I used a circle. It has a stitched outline. There's one there that I stitched that made a double outline. It was kind of like a boo-boo. So I put those off to the side, and then I used my Honeybee Stamps little die cutter. I forget what it's called, but anyway, I love that little die cut, just to die cut small things. And I found recently, looks like the Gina K came out with some little ornaments, and I cut those out with some metallic cardstock that I also got from Michael's, and I thought they would go perfectly on these ornaments, and they're various ones. The stamp set from Gina K has an ornament on there, but I don't have the die for it, and I preferred this one that had variety. So I took my die cut, my waffle flower A2 size frames in order to cut some slimline frames around these embossed panels that I had already cut, because they matched the circles that I had already cut. So I wanted them to have a little slimline in the back, and I used again the next size up for the gold metallic paper, so that to put as the background, so they would have a nice little frame on the outer edge that matched the embossing, which matched great. So I did a few of those just to put on the background. I want to pop up, I want to give some dimension to those frames that were cut from the circles. That's what I was thinking in my mind. I was kind of just winging it, but there's the boo-boo off to the right where I just put aside. But you'll see I actually make it work. So then I found another frame there that I had used to cut out the circle, and I used that same waffle flower frames to cut out a slim line again. That's my third one right there that I'm showing that's getting cut, and I'm going to use that as well to pop it up. I think I did 3 of them, but I might have only used, I'm trying to think, I might have only used 2 of them now that I think about it. But again, I'm back on there cutting my frames out. I love those waffle flower frames. They come in so handy when you don't want to guess what size your frames, what size they want to be. But now I'm putting together my frames, or my cards, the initial part of it, and trying to fit and see which one I like the best. That's the one that I personally made a mistake on, but it ends up being a happy accident, I guess you could say. So now I'm using my foam tape to pop up those frames. And this foam tape I just got off of Amazon. It's not very dimensional. It is actually nice and thin, but it gives it a good enough dimension. And you could easily, I was thinking as I was doing this, you could easily make shaker cards now that I'm looking at it. Because of the opening and the foam tape and everything, you can easily just pop some acetate and fill it up with some bling, in case I didn't want to use those round balls and they didn't come out that great. But in the end, I was happy with with how they all turned out. So then I popped that up, and now I'm thinking this circle one, I'm going to embed it into that spot, so it looks like it's, you know, it gives some dimension. I use my art glitter glue to pop that up. And the art glitter glue is good because I can just move it around in case I don't place it very well. use an A2 top folding card as my base, just to put that in the background, and it gives it an additional little slimline. I'm holding that together with one of my magnets from my magnetic board. I'm putting my art glitter glue in the back of that one. I'm going to put this as my first card, so I'm going to put that up on that. It has a little bit of the gold and as well as the white. I think that came out pretty good. And now I'm using one of those ornaments that I previously cut from Gina K, the die cut for the little ornament toppers. And I'm trying to dry fit the ones that I like. I think I'm going to go with that one with the bow. And I should have cut more of those because I like that one. That one's my favorite out of all of them. The other ones are a little too big. That one's not too bad. So this one goes on with my art glitter glue, and I place it there. And then I'm going to take my scissors, some fine scissors, and I'm just going to, I was initially going to take the large ones, but I said, oh no, I might cut the card. I know myself, so I just snip off the little bit of it, and it cut it perfectly, and I think that came out so cute. That's card number 1. So for card number 2, this one was, it was one I just embossed directly onto the green card. I'm going to use a panel, that gold metallic panel that I got from Michaels, to give it a nice little gold border that matches the embossing. I think they came out pretty. I think the cards came out pretty elegant. Then again, I'm dry fitting which ornament to go on here. And since this one seemed to be flat and I didn't embed, I didn't cut out that ornament, this one has the Deck the Halls with boughs of holly written on it. I'm going to go for that one, and I ended up popping up that little topper. Might not be too realistic, but it did come out good. I guess that's the great thing about making your own cards, right? Using your imagination. So as long as it comes out pretty, and it did, it worked, I think. I noticed I didn't align it the first time, but luckily it came out easy, and it was like nothing happened. I just put the foam tape back on it and then aligned it and made sure that it was properly placed this time. It was a little crooked. And I figured I'm going to pop this panel up as well, since it wasn't popped up. And again, the foam tape is not very thick, so it just gives it a tiny bit of dimension. I'm looking at it, I'm like, okay, you used a little too much tape there. Could have ended it. End it! So then this one, I am popping up on there. I ended up gluing it down. It actually came out pretty good. It's my second card. So on to my third card. This is the one where I had the boo-boo. I didn't think I was going to use it, but I said let me make it work so as not to put anything to waste. Again, I popped it up. That cutout panel, I popped it up with some foam tape, and I used my gold border accent panel on the back of it. And again, see, you could easily turn it into a shaker card. I feel like I'm making a shaker. So this one I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to make it work, but it actually, I was surprised it did. I ended up putting the panel on there, popping that up, and then that little loose circle that's right next to it, I'm going to embed it without any dimension, so it looks a little bit like a step dimension where one is dimension, one's not, the next one is dimension, and it came out pretty good. I'm taking off my my foam tape paper, and then I'm putting my little, holding it down with my little magnet I'm going to use my art glitter glue again to hold this circle down, the stitched circle border. And of course my glue is a little bit stuck, so I need to unglue it or unstuck it. And then we got some flow. So I'm holding that down, straightening it out, and then I'm using I'm going to use the foam tape to pop up that circle. And like I said, this one turned into a happy accident. I was very pleased with it, believe it or not. First didn't think it was going to come out good, and to my surprise, it worked out. Not initially when I glued it in, of course. I put it in crooked. Then I knew better and just put the art glitter glue so I can have time to move it around before it actually sticks permanent. I'm surprised I didn't do that with all the other ones. I was feeling cocky, I guess. So then now I'm picking a ornament topper for this one. Well, I'm sorry, here, go back again. I am picking an A2 sized white base, A2 size card, top folding card, and at the same time I am picking an ornament. And using my art glitter glue to hold that down. I didn't pop this one up just because I had the other dimension on the other layers. So now to pick my ornament. That one's too tiny. And I also have to consider that there's a little bit of an indentation there because it's been popped up. And that one looks a little too large. And initially I was going to go with didn't think the silver would go, but it actually doesn't look too bad. I think silver and gold goes now. There's nothing wrong with putting silver and gold together. It didn't look too bad. At first I thought that one would go, but I think I changed my mind on this one afterwards, after I tested it out. I have to put a little foam so that way it stays in the middle there and it won't move, and it also gives it dimension so it doesn't cave in. I tossed that away. I didn't like it. I ended up going for the smaller one. Either way, it came out nice. I think the cards came out elegant in the final product. So there you have it. I have this one, and I'll showcase my 3 cards. And I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks everyone for watching. Have a great day. Bye.